Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden, and it's one of those days I feel like I'm in a haze. It's been a fun day. It's actually been a fun couple of days. So I thought I would take this opportunity to build on the video that I made yesterday about failure. I've been thinking about a tool that I learned as an actor way back in the day that I now incorporate into my life to help me improve situations. And the secret to improving is to drop the E from that word, and we're going to get there in a moment. But first, let's go back in time to a guy named Shakespeare. You might have heard of him. Well, he said that all the world is a stage. And perhaps that's true in some regard. But the stage that life plays out on is quite a bit different than the stages that Shakespeare was writing for. Because in real life, there is no writer. There is no Shakespeare. There's just people shaking spears at us. There are no directors either in life. There's just a lot of actors, most of whom are confused, a few of which are acting like arses, and nobody knows what's going on. You've got some people putting on these grand solo performances, and then you've got others still waiting in the wings for someone to feed their lines to them. That's been me most of my life. But I've learned tools and techniques that allow me to get engaged even when I'm having a hazy day. Even when I'm like, ugh, the world feels like molasses and I just don't like it. I've learned how to work myself through those moments and into action, into doing things like this, making a video, even though it's the last thing on earth I want to be doing right now. But I'm actually happy that I'm doing it. Way back in the day, before I started studying psychology and neuroscience, I read a lot of self-help books. And although they were feel-good in the moment, kind of inspiring, the vast majority of what I read, even the most popular books, had little impact on my life. They really didn't do much. Most of it is just platitudes, useless information that sounds good on the page, but when you try to put it into action, you try to actually transform your life, there's nothing there. There's no meat. There's no traction. So I've created my own tools, which I apply to myself as a runner and in all other aspects of my life to get me moving, to get me to engage even when I don't feel like it. And one of the things that you're going to come across in these self-help books is this idea that you can write the script of your life, that you can create your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan, your 40-year plan, and all you have to do is follow the steps along the way, and you'll get there. It's that simple. But even if we spend the time to write that script and to create that plan, there's no way we're going to get other people to go along with it or even expect them to know what it is. Are we going to take this life plan or business plan or relationship plan and make a lot of copies and hand them to everybody that we see? When we're stuck in traffic and someone's beeping the horn at us, are we going to get out of the car and hand them our plan and say, here's my plan. This is how this script should be going. It doesn't work like that. So don't waste your time trying to plan your life, trying to write down the script of your life and make it perfect, because everybody has their own agenda. And most of them don't even know what that is. They're just going based on their urges and desires and instincts, and they think they have some semblance of a plan, but mostly they don't. And even the world has its own agenda in a ridiculously complex, collective kind of way. There are the laws of physics and chemistry and even biology, if you want to call them laws, and things move along in a certain way. And often that's in opposition to what we want, like death. That's how the world works. That's what things move towards. And we're like, no, that's not okay. I do not accept that death is a part of life or that aging is a part of life. I'm going to write my own script. And in that script, I'm not going to die. I'm going to live happily ever after. So rather than seeing life as something that you can script and control, it's so much healthier to see life as it actually is, which is an improvisation. Life is this huge improv, and we've been doing it ever since we first made that first giggly face when we came out of the womb. We're like, that was improv, and we've been improving ever since. The only problem is that nobody taught us how to improv. We never learned the rules. We never learned the techniques. So the vast majority of us suck at improv. So what actually is good improv? It's about fanning the flame. It's about taking a spark and turning it into a bonfire. It's about keeping things moving. It's about building upon what you have. It's about growth and movement. Most of the time, most of our efforts lead to dead ends. Instead of moving things forward, we kill things. We stop things. We don't accept things. We don't allow things. We say, no, don't like that. Walking away, shutting my mouth, or shutting you down. Why are we doing this? Because it's the way our brains are wired. It's adaptive. It helps us to survive, to be this way, to have this negativity bias. But in a modern society where we don't have to worry about constant daily threats to our lives, it's not really all that effective anymore. So how do we get around this instinctive negativity bias? Well, if you were to take an improv class, one of the first things they would teach you is the power of the two words, yes and. And these two simple words, when spoken in that order, yes and, have an almost magical ability to move a moment forward, to keep the action alive, and to build new, exciting moments based on those that have already happened. Life gives you the ingredients that it gives you. It's up to you to accept them and work with them. What can you create with the ingredients that life has just handed you? Yes and allows you to not only work with them, but first to see what they are, rather than immediately rejecting them and pushing them away and saying, nope, not good enough, don't want it, not interested. Yes and is about, yes, I'll take these. Yes, I want these. Yes, I can do something with this. And here's what it is. And when you practice with yes and, either as a metaphorical philosophy or as an actual linguistic tool, you can play with whatever shows up. If someone were to say to me, Tim, you are hideously ugly, I could say, yes. And it makes shaving very difficult because I can't stand to look at myself in the mirror with the lights on. You can play with it. You can have fun with it. Instead of saying, how dare you? Or that's awful. But I'm not going to tell you that this is easy. It's a skill that you have to learn because it's not our instinctive response. Our brains cause us to take offense and then we get defensive. We either attack the other person or we slink away feeling terrible about ourselves. Neither of these keep the moment alive. Neither of these allow us to transform that moment from the inside. Instinctively, our brains are either going to say, we deserve better, and therefore I reject this moment, or this is exactly what we deserve, and yes, I do accept this moment, but I'm not going to add anything to it. There's not going to be an and. Yes, I'm hideously ugly, and I'm just going to walk away feeling terrible about myself. No and. I didn't play with it. I didn't add. I didn't build. I didn't create. I didn't dance. Improv is not about waiting for something better or waiting for what you deserve. It's about creating better with what you have been served. And as the old saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them and transform them from the inside with your vulnerability and your compassionate play. So the next time you're in a bind and the world is coming at you in what seems like a really hostile way, say yes and ... See what you can create. I hope there's some value in there for you. And if you really do like these videos, please help me out by supporting this channel on Patreon. Those of you that are supporting me there, huge, huge thanks. By becoming a Patreon sponsor, I'm going to throw some more value back at you, and you help me to keep creating content like this and even improving what I'm working on. All right, I love you guys. I will see you soon. Peace out. There's just lots and lots of actors, most of Hume? Okay, we're going to leave Hume out of this. Maybe we'll bring some Hegel in, but Hume is not going to be a part of this conversation. There's just lots and lots of actors, most of whom are, I keep wanting to say Hume there. I can't get rid of the Hume. Humus, maybe it's from eating too much humus. Yes, I've been eating a beet hummus. It's quite delicious. I like it with frittata and fava beans. So even though, it seems like, yeah, and for a good, but before, yeah, before, way back, people that are jumping up and doing these grand solo performances playing the hero. Oh yeah, you're going to shake your spear at me? Well, my spear's bigger than yours, punko.